What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 58. It is officially very, very close to the FIFA World Cup. The MLS has only 1 week left before the biggest dysfunctional party of this year, of this past 4 years. It's going to be amazing. We're going to cover the World Cup. We're going to cover the previous MLS week with a doubleheader and the upcoming final match day before the World Cup. Lots of things happen, lots of injuries, lots of goals, lots of new goals in new stadiums. If you're interested, tap in, baby. Bang, bang.
I'm
Boom.
dying.
¿Qué pasó?
I'm dying, bro.
Why? What happened?
I didn't realize you were starting, and I ran downstairs to get a can, and I ran all the way upstairs.
Well, there you go, man. You're keeping that heart rate elevated, man. You gotta,
Let's see.
you gotta get that exercise in, baby.
Look at that. Can you see that?
What are you at? Beats at
119.
Jesus. 119 from going up the stairs, bro. That's wild.
I ran, bro.
I ran to where? I ran,
bro.
Well, that's okay. I know. It's that incline, dude. It gets you. This mountainous air.
Yes, sir.
It is what it is.
Hey, this Utah air is just like the Mexico air. Takes your breath away.
Yeah, it takes your breath away. Yeah, man. Like I mentioned, 1 more week before the World Cup. Or sorry, 1 more week for the MLS before the upcoming World Cup. Not too many games left to be played before then. Just a full slate, and then we're on to the biggest party, man. So you excited? You excited, man? You getting pumped? I feel like this last weekend, soccer's been filling up your life, dude. You ready?
Yeah, I am. I'm ready for more soccer. I'm sad. Like literally every weekend I just sit down and I watch Barcelona games and that's over. So now I gotta find something else to do. And to make it worse, like you said, 1 more week and then it's over for the MLS until July. So
yeah,
I'll have to figure out what to do with my weekends. I'll have to actually work on my garden, my backyard.
Dude, the World Cup's gonna have games like every day, bro. It's gonna be nice. At least in the group stages.
Yeah, but they don't start till what, like June 6th, like next weekend?
June something, yeah, something 16th, I want to say.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna have a whole break off.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little.
June
You're
11th.
gonna have a little bit of time. June 11th. Okay, that's opening day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'll be a little, a few weeks away, but it's okay, man. Like you'll get through. There's still some games here, still a couple other games, but you got to give these guys a break, man.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to watch basketball, dude.
The NBA playoffs,
Yeah.
which I couldn't tell you who's in. Actually, I couldn't tell you who's.
I can tell you.
I want to say the Cavs just won. The Cavaliers
Cavs won. It's the
only because
Thunder,
Donovan Mitchell. Oh yeah, and OKC.
San Antonio Spurs.
They
and
won?
The Knicks. Yeah.
They beat the Wolves.
And the Knicks.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I hear the Knicks are pretty good.
Yeah, they're all right.
That's gonna be
I
interesting.
don't watch basketball, but
I know a lot of people that I work with are in Philadelphia and New York, so a lot of them know about the Knicks. Very excited about them.
Los Knicks.
Those Knicks. Yeah, we'll have to watch those and some NHL, man. Or I think USL is going to probably be on a little bit. Maybe not.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, we're good. We got
kidding.
MLS.
I'm just kidding.
Before we get into the headlines and the games from this previous week, let's kind of take a look at the correct leaderboard and take a look at where we're at from our picks. We pick a winner for every single game, every single week to see who has the most wins. And oh my dude, what is going on? Burn, he's gaining ground. He is not gaining ground. He's pulling ahead.
A little bit, but not
98 to 95, my guy.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
I just got 2 extra than you this week, which
okay.
Most of it came from Wednesday. So Wednesday you had 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Wednesday I had 8, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then this past weekend we each had 6.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes, these ties, man. These ties are not helping anybody. These ties always kind of suck.
No, dude, these ties have been crazy this week, or not this week, but Wednesday there was what, like, let me see. Well, it was maybe it was this past week.
This Saturday there was 4-1.
That's what it was. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, a 3-3, crazy.
Yeah. And then you get some major upsets
Bro.
that nobody would have seen coming, dude. These are freaking wild.
For Wednesday, here, I forgot I still had that graphic up. Wednesday, the ones that pissed me off the most out of anything was both these Galaxy teams, dude. Why are
both these Galaxy teams?
Both these Los Angeles teams? They're so bad. Like,
I don't know how
There's
they
something
lost that game, bro.
going on with LAFC because they should not be losing to St. Louis. Galaxy, yes, you're bad, dude, but you can't be losing to Kansas City, dude. The last team that lost to Kansas City got their coach fired, bro. We gotta freaking come on.
Dude, I
Gotta
know. I
figure
think
this
they've
out.
beaten them twice this year. LA
Yeah,
Galaxy.
yeah, I think that's. We said that the previous game they had played, they lost or they
Yeah,
won. Yeah,
so
see, March 14th they won 1 to
yeah.
2, but Galaxy was playing good. I thought they'd have it. You'd think they'd
Yeah, and
have
they've
it.
been playing pretty decently, to be honest. Like, I don't know how that happens, but I think every time Johailovic has to play his old team, he's just like, you know what, we gotta bust these fools up in here, dude. Man,
Yeah.
you just can't get it done, bro. So, and then yeah, I don't understand what's going on with LAFC. Honestly, that one's a little bit scary because, like we mentioned at the beginning of the season, they were a favorite. So packed, such a good, strong team. They had a big showing at the beginning, right? Beating Miami and a sold out crowd in the Rose Bowl. And then they went on like 6 games without getting scored on. It was absolutely insane, right? And then all of a sudden, they were losing 1, they're losing 2, and I think they just lost their 3rd straight, I think, or at
Yeah,
least 3 games now.
technically 4 straight games that they've lost. One against Toluca. The last game that they won in the MLS was back in April 25th, which is about to be a month if they don't win this next game.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time, man. That kind of sucks. So yeah, man, I mean, quite a few different things happened this week with the doubleheader week. So we can kind of get into it, to be honest. There's a lot to kind of go through, so we won't go through everything, but we'll go through as much as we can in the time that we have. So Wednesday had a lot of different games, but I think the big one that we kind of want to look into is going to be the ones, and we always have to cover these guys because 1, you're a fan, and 2, because nobody can not talk about Miami whenever we talk about the MLS. So they did get 2 wins over the week. So they did end up beating Portland on Saturday, and they did end up beating Cincinnati on Wednesday 5-3, which wild game there. I thought Cincinnati was definitely going to take that one because wow, 3 goals, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're starting to kind of fight back and stuff, and you're just thinking, dang, dude, like there's no way Miami can win this because it's 3-2, and then bang, 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 3 goals. Absolutely insane. And then on Saturday, man, for the first time, new stadium is allowed to say that Inter Miami has won in their stadium. Hats off to them. Hey, clap it out, man. Hey, congratulations, guys. You beat the Portland Timbers in your new casa. But I guess what we're looking at here, man, is like big time wins for Inter Miami. Still a couple holes here and there. But how we feeling? How we feeling about Miami after this last week?
So, am I popping this can or not? I think we missed it, right? Or I missed it.
Correct. Before I forget, 1, 2 headlines. Let's go, baby.
And speaking of cracked, let's talk about my cracked player.
There's no way. There's no way you just went back to back with Messi, bro.
Hey, bro. So I'm basing it off 2 games, not just 1, okay? But either one would have gotten cracked. Would have got him cracked player. So as you mentioned, they beat Cincinnati 5-3 on Wednesday. 2 goals from Messi that game. Arguably a hat trick. You know, some might say it was an own goal. I say Messi manipulated the ball with his wind. So technically 2 goals and an assist on Wednesday, and then Saturday he actually had 1 goal and 1 assist. If I can find this game, I said Saturday, but it was Sunday, right? Against the Portland Timbers.
Sunday.
Yeah, and I don't know if you watched this game or not, but that assist that he had to Bertrame, like if he would have gave me that ball, I would have scored too. You know,
you better have scored.
This guy went through 5 players. Like watching him dribble is the craziest thing. You know, like I don't know how he does it, but gives that crazy ball, and then I think he could have had a second goal, gone back to back 2-1, but the goalie for Portland Timbers was going nuts.
Oh, I did see.
Was going nuts this game. I don't know if you saw that or not, but
yeah.
Dude, I don't know what was going through his mind. He just did not want to let him score. And not only that, Messi had a crazy goal. I need to find the replay because it was going top right corner, like the most perfectly placed ball I've seen in my life. And this goalie comes out of nowhere and just saves it. Yeah, I mean, Inter Miami, I feel like they're like the complete opposite of these LAFC teams that we were talking about. The LAFC, who else? I can't think of the other teams, but Yeah, LAFC is a bit of a downward spiral. Inter Miami's on the way up. This is
Yeah.
I don't know how good it can be for Inter Miami because they're kind of catching stride, and it sucks because now they're gonna go one more game and then they take a break and then they gotta
Yeah.
kind of find that stride again. Which again,
Yeah.
this is one of the main reasons the MLS is having to change their schedule just so things like this don't come around again. But I mean, Inter Miami is looking very dangerous. If they can keep this momentum going after the World Cup, I think they are maybe. I mean, they were kind of the favorites going into the season, kind of went down, and I think they're probably back up to being favorites, at least in the Eastern Conference. So
Yeah. I mean, if you're asking me, they were always a favorite. I think at the very beginning of the year, I definitely called an LAFC Miami final, right? So I don't think Miami's going anywhere. People can say what they want to say with Mascherano leaving, with the defensive, holes that they have, with the reliance on Messi. Like, they can say whatever they want. At the end of the day, this team on paper and on the field is very stacked, right? In my view, it's insane to me how good Messi still is, even at his age. Like, you mentioned that goal, dude. I mean, it's insane to see him play that way. And then also you kind of think about, man, like, he's going to bring this thing to the World Cup. Like, he's going to be good again. Argentina's going to be good again. They have Messi again. Like, it's going to be one of those things where they all are going to understand, like, hey, we have the best player in the world right now. We just have to work with him and, like, build around him. And we're probably going to go very far in this World Cup again, So it's wild to see him play. It's awesome to see, them get a win in a brand new stadium in Miami to give these fans, something to look at. But I did see that. I don't know if anybody else saw, but there was a little bit of speculation around the fans chanting to respect them a little bit more, to come out and say thank you after games, after matches. There's a couple things that, there's a couple different narratives basically online. But essentially, some of the diehard fans, the ones that are real, the ones that are not just there because Messi's there, the ones that have been with Miami since the start, like, they kind of want to see a little bit more from the players in giving thanks, right? Win, lose, or draw, they want something. What do you think, man? Do you think it was a little bit, uncalled for? Do you think, some of the players like Messi and everybody else could be a little bit more thankful? I'm not, like, at these games, so I can't say they do or don't do this, but, like, there's been a lot of talk this year around that,
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily that, or maybe it's like the new stadium and them losing and they've sort of been frustrated, so they're just trying to make a point, which it did throw me off because I think it was towards the end of the game. Messi was going to take a corner and DePaul was the one that won it, and he just started kind of like, hyping up the crowd, just telling them like, let's go, let's get this done and whatnot. So I think it's the fans just saying like, hey, like, we're here. We want to see you guys win too. Like, let's get some more motivation into this crowd, because from Instagram or a Twitter post that I saw, it looks like they didn't bring any banners or any like instrument type stuff just to protest whatever's going on. So
Okay.
sorry, I muted myself so I could burp. And yeah, I mean, they gotta. I think things are going well in Miami. This whole fan situation is obviously like an internal battle they're having with themselves. So hopefully they can figure it out. And this win just helps the fans and the players kind of grow their motivation together, because it's kind of crazy to see how motivated Messi gets for stuff like this. You'd think at his age, playing for a MLS team, retiring, he'd just kind of be playing these games like they don't really matter, but you can tell they matter to him.
Yeah.
And
For
I don't
sure.
know if you saw that interview he had with some dude in Argentina, but he was basically talking about how competitive he is. And I feel like every pro player has that, but he's just like, yeah, like, I hate losing. Like, I don't even let my kids beat me in video games because I don't want to lose and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's
goes to
that.
show.
That's that MJ mentality, dude. Like, it's just I always relate everything back to Michael Jordan just because of his
I
documentary.
thought you were
the
gonna say
way
Michael Jackson. I was like, what?
No, Michael Jordan, dude. I think he's one of the greatest athletes to ever graze this earth, right? Like, I think his competitiveness and everything is just like unmatched, and I think a lot of players today get it from him. But I think it's one of those things too where you're kind of thinking about the fans too and kind of what they've been doing. I never think like never bite the hand that feeds you, right? the fans are there to watch you. They're there to support you and be there for you, and no matter what happens, right, in the game. And I think it's never a good look to not be appreciative of the fans. And I'm sure that the players are in some way, shape, or form. And maybe, but then again, maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe if the players have never really done like a walk and like clap and go talk to some of the fans, like then that's probably a pretty bad look for this Inter Miami team and honestly for Messi. But if that is the case, and I'm just going to assume that is the case, I'd be pissed. I would probably say, hey, you know what? If you guys don't care about us because you don't think this is a legitimate, fan base or whatever, then why show up? Why go? Why go to these games? Why fill this brand new stadium and give it all this money if they don't give a crap about you, man? Like, you have a lot of power as fans, right? And if you want some more respect, show it with your pockets. Show it with the money. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's not the case. But again, assuming it is, don't go. Don't go to the games.
Messi, if you're hearing this, if you bite my hand, I'll still feed you.
You're stupid, dog. Anyways, yeah. Miami did end up getting 2 wins this week, so very good for them, and the Eastern Conference title race, as well as the Community Shield race is obviously good for them. We did get another team that got 2 wins this last week was Nashville. So Nashville SC, another team that's top in the Eastern Conference, beat New England 3-0.
The top.
And then the top. They beat New England 3-0, and then they beat LAFC in a doubleheader Sunday Night Soccer 3-2, which hell of a game, by the way, for both teams because it was pretty back and forth, to be honest. And then, Nashville at the end of the day kind of, got this one and kind of got the win there. I will call it out really quickly. My correct player of this game, of the week, was Hany Mukhtar. 9.7, dude. 9.7 player rating. The guy had a hat trick, 3 goals, 86% pass accuracy. The goals he had this Saturday were absolutely nuts. Crazy free kick and a crazy build up on that first one. I thought were amazing. And then obviously to cap it off with the third goal in the 59th. Great for him. Great for the team. Gets them the win against a very good LAFC team. But most importantly, it keeps them atop the Eastern Conference and keeps them kind of in that Community Shield race as well. So hats off to Hany Mukhtar. Hats off to Nashville SC. Solid performance from them, dude. I think a lot of people, they kind of mentioned them here and there, but they don't get a lot of hype. They don't get a lot of talk. Do you think they still are kind of that rival or kind of that formidable opponent to Miami for the Eastern Conference?
Yes. Let me look at this table real quick because if I'm being honest, Cincinnati fell off. Philly fell off. Inter Miami's still there. Nashville is always up there. And with a team honestly, they tied against DC United. They tied against Philly. Those aren't good looks for them. And then they lost in the Champions Cup to Tigres. But then to make it up, they come in. They win 3-0 against New England. And then on Sunday, they come in and yes, it's a bit of a downward spiral LAFC team. But they still beat them 3-2. And I just feel like they've been playing really well. They obviously don't have Surridge, so Mukhtar's coming in here and carrying the team while Surridge is in the incubator or whatever Goku gets into.
That's a great reference.
And they are definitely the only team this year, from the looks of it, that I could see beating Inter Miami. Obviously, they already did in the Champions Cup, knocked them out. Inter Miami, once these playoffs come around, next time they play each other, it's going to get heated because Inter Miami coming into the year, they're like, you know what? We won the Leagues Cup. We won the MLS Cup. There's one title we haven't won, and that's what we want, and we're going to go all in on it, and that was the Champions Cup, and then they get knocked out by their rival. So I just feel like these next few games, whenever they play each other, are just going to be crazy. And hopefully, if we're lucky, this will be the Eastern Conference final matchup, so the semifinal. And I'm just excited to see how the rest of the season plays out, especially with Nashville playing so good. And no,
for sure. I think the pickup for Espinoza this year has been great for Nashville. I think he's been doing a really good job of kind of meshing with this team. Yeah, like you mentioned, Hany Mukhtar has to step in while Surge is out, doing what he's got to do to kind of come back better. And honestly, a pretty good timing with the World Cup, right? Like they're going to have a little bit more time to make sure he comes back, make sure that the team is, fully healthy for that second half of the season post World Cup, and kind of see if they can kind of compete with Inter Miami and the rest of these Eastern Conference teams. But like you said, I think when you look at the table right now as it stands, you're seeing Nashville and Inter Miami at the very top, 2 points difference, right? With Nashville having a game in hand. But you got New England in third, you got Chicago in fourth, City in fifth. They just lost a big piece of their puzzle. Red Bulls hot at the beginning, not so good now. Charlotte, DC, and Cincinnati, I don't see it with anybody else except for Nashville. So I'm agreeing with you. I think if we can get a Nashville-Miami conference final, that is going to be fun and electric.
The only team that I could see knocking either of those two teams out would be Cincinnati if they can get their stuff together and, get rolling going into the end of the season. But I feel like we're basically looking at the finalists for the Eastern Conference here in the top 2 spots. So
yeah. Well, I could also see it with, if it were to stay, or maybe you say Nashville goes to second or Miami goes first, whatever. Your dark horse, man, that DC United team, you never know. You never know, because whoever's in second is going to have to probably play. Like if it were to go today, DC and Cincinnati would probably fight. DC would probably win. DC would probably have to play Miami. And you never know, dude. This DC United team, they're a little crazy, man. So who knows? But yeah, hats off to them. Hats off to the Nashville side, playing very well this last week. We did also get a rivalry this last week, the Hudson River rivalry with the Red Bulls and New York City FC. Not as exciting as we had it with the U.S. Open Cup, but nonetheless, some sort of fireworks with a bit of a brawl. Not too much, really. It's kind of just a little bit of shoving and a yelling match, really, that happened in the 23rd minute of this game. But probably the biggest thing from this game is that we did get a injury with Maxi. Not sure if you're seeing this. This is the little brawl here.
They're yelling at each other.
Yeah, a bit of a shoving match.
What's going on here, guys? Come on.
Yeah.
Throw some punches. Throw some punches.
I will say, that is what rivalries need to be about. You know what I mean? Sure, I don't think anybody wants somebody to just throw hands, right? Like that one goalie from, I think it was Argentina or something.
I know which one you're talking about. It was the second
Germany.
league of. Wait,
was it Germany?
Are you talking about back in the day or 3 weeks ago?
No, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was in a La Liga team.
Oh, La Liga.
Yeah,
yeah.
La Liga 2.
Oh yeah, the goalie came up and was he got the card and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna make this worth it."
Yeah,
dude,
and he punches
rocks this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm not saying you guys got to do that, right? You ain't got to be all messing people up. At the end of the day, everybody's got to go home to their lives, right? But show some emotion, bro. Show some yeah, dude. We don't like you guys,
Show some
we're
passion
gonna fight.
like Maradona, dude.
Yeah, dude. Go do what you got to do to be a little bit more passionate. But I loved it. I love this little scuffle, right? It's good that they kept going and they kept playing and it wasn't crazy and nobody got hurt. Great. But yeah, be mad at each other, you know what I mean? Be upset. And, there's a lot of people that also got a little bit of flack for this. But did you see, because I mentioned this, Maxi Rodriguez did get hurt. It was a non-contact injury.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. Likely Achilles. It could be an ACL. We don't know. But did you see the guy that helped pick him up? Did you see that? I don't know if it's true either.
I'm looking for it right now, but this is what I'm talking about when I say I need passion from you like Maradona, bro. Look at that. Straight knee to the face. That's crazy.
Dude, that dude was a freaking brawler, bro. That guy was wilding all the time.
I didn't see who picked them up or what.
So I think this is, I saw a clip on it. I don't know if it's legit, but it was so go to Maxi Rodriguez, New York City FC, stretchered off or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
I saw a video of him obviously getting stretchered off, and I think it's him. It's kind of it kind of starts in a weird way.
Yeah. And he started smiling.
Yeah, the guy smiled, and then he kind of gives a little yes. And I was like, ooh, dang. People are always going to look at that and be like, dude, this guy shouldn't be there. That's messed up. I agree. It's messed up, but that's some passion right there, my guy. That's some passion for your team. He's obviously a Red Bulls guy, and he's like, yo, one of their best guys is out. We're good. We're in a good spot. Like, yes, nobody wants ill will to anybody, but that's some passion. That's some passion right there. Did you end up finding it or no?
No, I was looking for it, but I was trying to find the exact moment when he got injured, and it's in the 16th, bro. He told me the 23rd.
Oh, really? My bad. I didn't know that.
But I'll find that clip here real quick. Is it in the chat? I'm pretty sure you sent it in the chat. Right?
Yeah, it's in the chat here. It's like the second clip that I sent you. It's this one right here. I'm gonna highlight it really quick, and that way you can take a look. I just messaged on top of it. You can kind of pull it up. It's probably gonna take you to Instagram. That's fine. But kind of looking at this, yes, it was a draw. It wasn't, extremely exciting, right? But nonetheless, both New York City and the Red Bulls are stuck, kind of right next to each other. 5th and 6th place in the Eastern Conference, both with 14 games, both with 19 points. So this rivalry is probably going to continue to go the rest of the season because right now, like they're tied in points and they're tied in games. So like literally cut and paste, like 5-4 and 5. It's kind of wild, to be honest with you, but it's pretty crazy.
Oh, let's check this out. Look at this.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
See, and it's kind of weird because like it looks like it.
Yes.
But I'm like, is it? Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe
that's some pasión.
To try and defend the guy, maybe he was just excited to be out in front of all those people,
That's what I thought too. He was like, yes, I get to go out in the field and touch some grass. Maybe that's why he was excited.
Maybe have you seen those videos where they try and pick people up in the stretcher and then they drop them?
Yes.
He should have done that just on accident, quote unquote.
See, that would have been ill will, but I think he definitely, like you said, he's just happy to be there, man. He's excited to be on the field and get some TV time. Like, give him some slack.
Yeah.
But yeah, nonetheless, that was a interesting rivalry to say the least. We had a couple big upsets from the week as well. I think we mentioned on Wednesday, LA Galaxy falling to a not very good team. They ended up losing to Sporting Kansas City 3-1, which crazy to lose against them. And then they come back and they beat Seattle 2-0 in Seattle at Lumen. Wild, dude. Like I'm very glad and happy that I had Peck on my kick base because he's been balling the past couple weeks. But this is like the weirdest up and down team this year that I've ever seen. 1 week they're losing to one of the worst teams in the MLS, and the next they're beating the third? Is it third? Fourth ranked team in the Western Conference?
Yeah,
like
fourth.
What the heck's going on in LA?
And that's the one thing too, is because that when I was looking at the teams to pick who I was gonna pick to win, I was this close to picking the LA Galaxy, and I'm like, bro, they just lost to Kansas City, and they're playing the Sounders. There's no way they're going to win this. And, of course, they go and win it. These teams just need to find some sort of consistency. I don't know what it is, whether it's finding a great matchup or a great lineup that works well for them every week. But it's just crazy to me, like you said, losing to Kansas City and then winning against the Sounders is such a crazy turnaround. Did the Sounders win? Yeah, see, the Sounders beat San Jose, and it was a hard-fought game. They won 3-2 in the 89th minute, so maybe that has something to do with the Sounders being maybe a little bit more worn out. And did they play at home? Do you know? I know
against San Jose,
the Galaxy,
yes.
Yeah, against San Jose, they played it at home.
I believe so.
Okay.
Let me look.
Because I was going to say maybe the travel affected them a little bit. But
I believe they
did. They did. They're at Lumen Field both games. I swear these people always play at Lumen Field.
I know. So here's a crazy stat. They had from the time that they lost to PSG in the FIFA Club World Cup at Lumen, they haven't lost at home for 22 straight games.
They've played 22 straight games at home. That's crazy. I know.
No.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The 22 games after that game that they've played at home, they haven't lost. Except for this one.
That's a good record. It's a crazy record to beat them. But yeah, I mean the Galaxy. This is crazy. We were talking about LAFC, or you were. I'm not gonna put myself in that conversation of saying they're going to be invincibles. They're gonna win the league, do all this stuff, and then the season starts and we're like, bro, the Galaxy's they're not gonna make the playoffs, and the Galaxy is 3 points behind LAFC. Is that crazy?
That is
They're
wild.
they're literally 3 points behind. LAFC is currently sitting in seventh after they started off the season in the top three. So that's a crazy fall off from LAFC, but at least the Galaxy, like you said, inconsistent, but they gotta get a little bit of consistency here, at least maybe like a 2 to 3, 4 game stretch, so they can solidify their spot in this playoffs, especially taking advantage of some of these teams that are gonna have some players out in the World Cup, which I can't think of how many people. Obviously, Inter Miami's having Messi and St. Clair gone, so we'll see how it goes. But the Galaxy definitely needs to capitalize because they should be able to rest most of their starters. And I don't know what it's looking like for Ricky Puig, but maybe this month off can help him come back into the season this year. I don't know what his health status is, but
I don't know.
And then not only that, but João Klaus has also been out. And he'll be coming back. So he'll be coming back late July, so that allows them to have a little bit of a gap and help him come back too. So
yeah, there's definitely going to be a few people out. For Vancouver, you probably got a couple guys like White. I want to say Mueller is in Germany. I don't know exactly, to be honest.
I don't think he's playing with them.
Arcel's got a couple, right? They likely got a couple.
Yeah.
Seattle's got a couple. Dallas actually has Musa going over to, I think, Croatia is where he's from.
Croatia?
Yeah, and then, LAFC's probably got a couple guys. So there's definitely going to be a few people, kind of in and about with the World Cup that's coming up. So, yeah, I don't know. LA Galaxy is definitely being a little bit inconsistent, but they're winning, right? Past 5 games, they've had a win, a draw, a win, a loss, and a win. So they're definitely getting it done, however way they can. It's ugly most of the time, to be honest with you, but they're getting it done. And I think at the beginning of, the season again, they were saying, hey, we got to sack the coach. We got to take him out. I don't know what he's been doing lately, but he's definitely been doing a little bit better than at the beginning of the year. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens with the team, man. I don't know.
Ignore my Puig comment, bro. I just read this article that he's out until
done,
2027. Right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's done.
And, dude, you know how old this guy is?
Puig?
Yeah.
25 maybe?
He's 26. I don't know why I thought he was older, but yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he was older.
No, that's kind of what I assumed. Anyways, yeah, LA teams honestly, except for San Jose, these California teams are being a little bit, in a bit of a slump. So a little bit interesting. To kind of cap this one off, like what I did there, we're going to look at some of the other team that had a crazy loss this last week on Saturday.
Bruh.
Vancouver Whitecaps losing to Houston Dynamo. Sorry, I had to cough really quick. To Houston Dynamo.
Did you yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I had to cough really quick. Houston Dynamo, they lost 1-0, which I believe it was, you could say it was because of the red card. I don't know if you saw it. Takaoka ended up getting a red card in the 64th minute. It was a dog-so situation. So, I think it's a pretty soft call. I don't know if you can pull it up quickly, but I don't think it was anything too crazy. I think I see why it was called. Just because he was out of the box. It was, last man. Could have been a goal scoring opportunity. But, whenever you have your starting keeper out, it kind of changes the rift of everything. And you can see it from the momentum, right? So once this red card was given, it was all Houston. So playing down a man is really, really tough in any league, right?
Oh, bro. He knew it.
Yeah.
He instantly
he knew it. Yep, he instantly knew. And it was tough because I don't know, when you kind of look at this back, I'm not really sure if he really clips him.
Let me see. We were in the way.
I mean, barely, to be honest.
Yeah, he gets a touch on him for sure. I feel like it's one of those things where, you touch them and it's the momentum and it's just the way he just happened to clip the top of his knee that he just does that excessive spin or whatever, the little flip he does. But yeah, that's unfortunate for keepers. I feel like they're very well protected, when it comes to inside your box. But as soon as you get out of there, dude, you got to be careful because if you're leaving your box, there's a reason. You're not leaving it because you want to. You have to. So you got to be careful on those. So yeah, that sucks for them. Obviously, losing your best keeper, your number one keeper, isn't very good. But what I will say is, that happened in the 64th minute and they didn't get scored on until the 90 plus 6. So there was definitely enough time they're somewhere where they could have got a goal or, held off just a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Figure something out, get an extra point, losing your keeper. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Houston's not the worst team ever, so.
Yeah. I mean, they're not great, but it is a bit of an interesting loss for them, right?
Yeah.
So looking at the table right now, as it stands, we do have Nashville leading the Eastern Conference and Vancouver still atop of the Western Conference.
Both with a game in hand.
Yeah, wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is good because Vancouver is tied with San Jose in points, so they'll be able to pull ahead of San Jose right if they get that win or even a tie. But it's also great to see Real Salt Lake. We didn't mention them. They're in third place in the Western Conference with 25 points with as well a game in hand. So they could be, right there. Yep, 1 point behind San Jose, which puts them in a great position, right before the World Cup. So we'll see what happens with them. What were you gonna say?
What happened with the Sounders? Why are they 2 games behind?
Good question, dude. I don't know. It must have been
because obviously if they were to win both games, they'd be sitting at 28 points. So but still,
I mean, I'm assuming
weird.
The CONCACAF had something to do with it, maybe.
Still,
but
there's LAFC, Miami, all those teams, they all had to do it too. So it's just weird that they're the only team with 2 missing games and the other ones only have 1. So
yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't have the answer to that. So if you're really quick on ChatGPT, then maybe you'll be able to find it out. But I don't know, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they do have only 12 games where everybody else has at least 13. I don't think anybody else has 12. So that is wild, to be honest. But yeah, as it stands, like, the teams that were on the top, they're very, very much on the top. And the rest, like the playoff spots, are, still TBD, and they're very much in the air. Because, if LA Galaxy's in the mix and San Diego's not, like, a lot of things can still change. Columbus is like very much on the bottom side of the Eastern Conference, and DC's up top. Like, things can move, you know.
The Seattle Sounders have only played 12 games due to a combination of scheduling adjustments and external tournaments. So yeah, the Champions Cup was one of them, had a congested early season schedule, and then an early season home match against RSL, originally scheduled for April 12th, was postponed till September 23rd. So I don't know what happened, but that's the reasons. There you go.
Interesting.
So gotcha. Technically, they probably should have only missed 1 for the Champions Cup, like the other teams. But whatever happened with RSL is the reason that RSL is 1 game behind and they're 2. So, that does make sense, because I'm like, RSL doesn't play the Champions Cup. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. So I don't know. Something had to be rescheduled. So it is what it is, man. But I'm sure they're going to make up for it, and they're just going to be that much more of a contender in the Western Conference. So it is what it is. Shifting gears here a little bit before we get into the upcoming MLS matches, we do want to start to kind of cover a little bit more on the World Cup coming up, 2026 FIFA World Cup. Probably one of the biggest tournaments, if not the biggest tournament, sporting tournament in the world that everybody watches, right? We've definitely covered a lot of things for the World Cup in the previous, last year, this year. We've said a couple of things here. And I think maybe before we get into, maybe some of our favorites, some of like the dark horses, I'm just going to ask, like, there's a lot of stuff going on about the World Cup, right? At the end of the day, there's a lot of things that are always going to happen. I feel like there's always something with the World Cup, right? Like, no matter if it's here, whether it was in Qatar, South Africa, Brazil, like, I feel there's always something that comes up, right? Like, politically, climate-wise, player-wise, all these different things. Like, so much always happens with the World Cup. How are you feeling about this upcoming World Cup in general, with everything going on, with just how accessible it can be,
I'm not surprised with the way things are here in the U.S. Everybody knows that the U.S. is a business-first mindset out here when it comes to events like this. I feel like we already knew how expensive things were going to be going into this World Cup. I don't think I expected it to be as crazy as it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to any games, at least not yet. If I find a cheap enough ticket, maybe somebody...
Yeah, I just I just submitted us for trying to get tickets for like a Mexico-Australia game for Salud.
Yeah, I
you
saw
ever
that.
followed them?
I do know. I do know who they are.
Did you get a notification on that? Oh,
yeah.
you did?
I get Gmail notifications, so
oh, nice. Okay,
I saw
cool.
that. But yeah, I know what Salute is. I've never had it, but
me neither. But nonetheless, if you guys want us to go into the game, let's do it.
Go. But yeah, it's crazy. It is what it is. I don't know. I can't tell you what it's like outside of the U.S. if these tickets are crazy or if it's what people are saying, like how expensive everything is, if it's truly that expensive, you know. I've never been to a World Cup outside the U.S. I don't know how crazy it would be to fly there, to get a hotel there, then to purchase a ticket. Because I can't imagine what FIFA's doing is any different from any other country. Maybe the only difference is here. Do they have Ticketmaster in Qatar, bro? Like, is that a thing?
I'm sure they got something.
They got something. So, it is what it is. As unfortunate as it is to say, it is what it is, and this is kind of what was gonna happen. And hopefully, we can get somewhere in one of these games, even if it's those rickety stadium seats we were talking about
in Canada.
Yeah,
did I know, right? Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, like it's crazy, bro. There's a lot of things that go on. In Qatar, they had, everybody was losing their minds about basically them using slaves to build the stadiums, right? In South Africa, like they were doing the same thing where, there was a lot of different things going on with, some of the, groups out there, and like how some of the governments were just taking a lot of the money and never giving it back to the people, right? And even then, like Brazil, right, where, there's like, this is the stadium and it's a beautiful place and it's a beautiful, setup. And then right next to it, there's the favelas. You know what I mean? There's people like literally sleeping in huts. You know what I mean? Like there's always something, with FIFA.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's a big global event that at the end of the day, they've made this very clear, is their number one generating, revenue generating event of 4 years for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
I do think they're going way fucking overboard on these prices, and for them to be like, oh, we don't know, we expect them to be fine, like you guys are paying $500, $600, $700, $800 to go see Taylor Swift, or to go see, Texas versus Alabama at the NCAA football game. Fuck you, man. Like, that doesn't mean you can freaking do it too with, Uzbekistan against Iran. Like, that's different, bro. Like, that's a little bit wild to say, like, just because you want to charge some of the most like craziest games and events the same as every other thing. Like, that's wild to say, and like wild to like try to like price things out that way. I just don't understand why this can't be something where you would want to get more butts and seats. You know what I mean? Like, you get people there. Make your money on concessions, make your money on parking, make your money on, hotels, on TV rights, like all these different things that you can do. But you just got a freaking nickel and dime every step of the freaking way, man. Like, come on. What is this?
And not only that, I know going into this World Cup, we talked about how big this can be for the U.S. and building the game out here. Obviously, if you're into soccer and you have the money for it, you're likely to pay those prices, and go. But the casuals who are just happen to live in some of these host cities are just like, oh, you know what? I have nothing going on this weekend or this day. Let me just buy a World Cup ticket real quick and go check it out. And maybe they fall in love with it. But when they go and they check out what the prices are to some of these games, they're probably gonna be like, yeah, dude, this isn't worth it. Like, I don't even like the sport. Which you would think FIFA would, understand that soccer's not big here. Let's make it accessible to some of these people who aren't as big of a fan, and maybe we can create fans out of them and then generate more money that way in the future. Because they're coming here for a reason. Obviously, the U.S. won the, what do they call it, like the bidding or whatever they do to get it hosted here. But once they won that, FIFA had to have known is this the biggest country, like, people-wise? No, it's not actually. That's like India or whatever.
Yeah, China.
But maybe the biggest country with people that have money, if that sounds like,
you know
what I mean? Like,
I mean, the three of us, I would say the three, Canada, Mexico, definitely
Yeah.
per capita is probably pretty high.
Yeah. So I just feel like FIFA should have capitalized a little bit better on it. And yes, you're probably gonna make a lot of money off of it, but you could have made more money in the future with more fans enjoying your game. So
yeah. And I think, look, I work for corporate America. Like it's just what I do on a day to day. But like we are offering people that we're trying to work with tickets to the World Cup. And from my understanding, like these companies and these big box, companies and, like you said, Ticketmaster and whatever the heck else we have, SeatGeek and all them, like they're kind of getting like first dibs on some of these tickets legally, right? In a legitimate way. But they're also like, FIFA's making it very hard for them to like pass these on because they're trying not to have people scalp them. But then also you have, things that like SeatGeek or Ticketmaster or whatever, where they're saying, hey, we have 300 tickets to this game and we're trying to sell them all, but we're going to sell them for $600, $700, $800, $1,200. And it's like, dude, what? Like what? And then you're thinking like, who the heck's going to pay these prices? Like who's really going to pay $1,200 for a ticket where it's just like your average group stage game? You know what I mean? Like it's wild to think about. So I don't know. I think it's a lot of like, yes, FIFA's wrong. Yes, I think the ticketing system companies are wrong. Like this is absurd, man. This is absolutely insane.
$1,000 for US versus Paraguay in SoFi. SoFi
that's
is a
probably
big
like
stadium, dude.
That's probably like
look, it's up here.
Yeah, that's the rafters, dude. Like and that's just the ticket. Like look at the fees. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be at least a couple $100 in fees. You know what I mean? And it's like you're not gonna buy one. Most people are not just gonna be like, yo, I'm just gonna buy one ticket. Like you're probably gonna go with a spouse, friend, like whatever.
Oh, it's making me sign in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it on my phone real quick.
I guarantee you, it's like $200-$300 in fees. And then you're thinking about this too. How are you gonna get there? How are you gonna get to SoFi? You got to Uber there. You're gonna walk. You're gonna walk. People are always like, I can't believe they got this transportation. Dude, we drive here, bro. Like I'm sorry, we're not Europe. We drive places, okay?
Bro,
it just is what it is.
It's a big place.
You're not gonna walk on an effing freeway. You're not gonna walk on I-5. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You're just not. So like,
oh my gosh, dude, I can't imagine what the traffic is gonna be like.
Yeah,
in
exactly. So like, it's a bit of a mess. Like everybody's saying like, oh, is the U.S. ready? They're ready. Everybody's just fucking greedy. It is what it is.
$49.44 in service fees.
Seeing what does that even mean? Like for you to,
I don't even get like
use technology to
just for them to let them, just to let them give me the ticket.
Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah, bro. They're literally just giving me a PDF file for $3,000. At least send me something, wild. Come on. Get to the stadium, give me like a souvenir ticket or something. Come on.
Something, dude. And you're not gonna get nothing. You're gonna get, you're gonna buy a $20-something beer and a $18-something hot dog, and if you want popcorn, that's another $10-$12, right? And if you want a water, I guarantee you it's $8, right? And I guarantee you it's Dasani, the worst tasting water in the world, but because it's by Coke, right, you gotta have it. And then your Uber's gonna be at least $150, and then I mean, at the end of the day, you're out what, $3,500? Like that's wild, bro. That's some people's mortgages, like monthly mortgages. Like that's some people's double their mortgages. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's a lot of fucking money, dude. That's wild.
We can go to Qatar and Switzerland for $400.
Yeah, like what's going on here? So, anyways, a lot of crazy stuff happening, right? I just kind of wanted to get your sentiment around the World Cup. There's a lot of crazy things going on, but at the end of the day, I think the show must go on, right? It's still going to be something that happens. There's a lot of things around. I know the whole like visa thing's been like the whole thing is basically voided at this point. They're not going to go through with a lot of that, and I think a lot of things are going to be calmer for the World Cup, I would think and I would hope, right? But nonetheless, when we look at the favorites for this World Cup, I think the top 10 are probably who you would expect. But if you were to guess the top 2 teams to take it in this year's World Cup, would you have guessed France and Spain?
Yeah.
I think if you don't know soccer or anything about soccer, you probably wouldn't know that. But France and Spain are the 2 runner-ups. Why?
Why are they so popular?
Yes, why are they number 1 and number 2, or 1A and 1B?
1A and 1B. First of all, two names, Mbappe and Lamine Yamal, are the two main reasons, you know? Mbappe obviously has won a World Cup, has been to a second World Cup final and finished second.
Crazy track record.
Yeah, and he was the first person to score a hat trick in the World Cup final in a super long time or something like that.
Well,
obviously last World Cup, so he's used to it now. This whole France team is used to it. They're just used to winning, you know. A lot of these older guys, Griezmann, Kante, some of these players, I don't know if Kante's playing or not. I think they haven't released their full schedule yet. I know Griezmann isn't playing for sure.
Roster,
but
yeah.
We mentioned this last time. They have a crazy attack. Their midfield is insane. Okay, just kidding. Their midfield is not insane. Spain's midfield is insane. But France has a good midfield, a World Cup winning midfield. Their defense is also really good. You know, what's his name for Arsenal? Saliba has been playing really well. He's going into the World Cup, maybe possibly a Premier League champion and possibly a Champions League champion. And PSG is obviously in the Champions League final, and most of those players are French. They have Doué, they have Dembele, Zaire Emery. I mean, you could go on. We talked about this last time. You can make 2 World Cup winning teams with the players that they have.
Yeah.
And then going into Spain, I feel like the most important part of a team when it comes to soccer is the midfield. I don't know if you think so.
I agree.
Obviously, all sides of the field are important, but that midfield is what's slowing down the other team from coming to your defense and forcing the ball up to your offense. And they have Ballon d'Or winner in Rodri, who hasn't been the best since he won that award, but obviously he's coming back from an injury. So they have Pedri, who, in my opinion, as a Barca fan, but also very unbiased, I feel like most people would agree with me that Pedri's probably the best midfielder in the world right now. And if he's not number 1, he's number 2. But he's number 1 in my eyes. And yeah, like these attacking midfielders, unfortunately, there was an injury to Fermin Lopez, who has been playing lights out. Dani Olmo's been playing good. Basically, the Spain national team is going to be the Barca midfield at this point.
Yeah.
So, they're just crazy. Obviously, Lamine Yamal is going to be injured the first couple games.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a wild card when it comes into that offense. You don't know what he's going to do. You do know what he's going to do. He's basically the Spanish Robin, cut to his left and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these teams are just really good. I feel like, I don't know, this is going to be a crazy final. I don't know if it'll beat that last year's World Cup final, because that final was one of the craziest things I've seen, dude.
Yeah, like, that was insane.
It was wild. Like, if you never watched soccer before and you saw that game, I think you'd fall in love with the game.
Yeah.
So
that was such a good game.
Yeah,
dude. It was amazing.
I'm hoping we get a Spain-France final, because I feel like that's what most people would want.
Yeah.
And if not, Argentina can win it.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, they're definitely up there again, which rightfully so. But I guess, you know, when you kind of look at things in the bigger picture, yeah, France has a stacked team. Spain has a stacked team. Going down the top 10s, you're going to have England up there as well. Again, I think the Premier League just has a ton of these guys. Harry Kane up top, an absolute, you know, lights out player this year for, you know, Bayern Munich. Mm-hmm. You also have Brazil, you have Argentina, Portugal, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, which a bit of a surprise for me. Maybe I need to brush up a little bit on like why they would be up so high.
I don't.
And then Belgium, right?
I don't know if you saw the drama with Brazil and Neymar being left out of the World Cup team, but
I heard he was back
today.
on.
Yeah, I was gonna say today they announced their final squad and he was on it. So.
Oh, did they announce the final squad?
Well, I don't know if it was the final squad, sorry, but they announced the squad and he's in it. So
yeah, I saw that he was in it. So, you know, it'll be nice to have, you know, Vinny, Rodri, Enrique, you know, to have Neymar as well. Like, that's some pretty big names. I've always been a big fan of Brazil. I think it's, you know, if you've been watching this at all, like Ronaldinho was a big part of my upbringing and part of the reason why I like this sport. And so like watching him and watching the Brazil national team, like I'm always going to be a big fan of Brazil. Fan? Yeah. I mean, obviously, like I'm not like diehard to any club. One day, maybe I will be. But like I've always liked him and Barcelona. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? But he's always someone that I've always like looked at. But Brazil's always a national team where I've been like, man, like I hope they win. I hope they win. I hope they do great. I hope they do awesome, just because I love that style of play that they have. So we'll see what happens with them. I'm always going to root for them, as well as my two I would say my two home countries that I've obviously have like, roots to. But I think the one that's a little bit interesting here was Portugal, to be honest with you. I don't know, too much. I mean, obviously Ronaldo's on there, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha. Like, I get like some of the guys that are on this team. But I mean, is that like a weird position for them? Like Portugal, like, is it one of those where it's like, yeah, like they got a ton, or is it kind of like, they're probably saying it because of Ronaldo?
Portugal has a good team. I will say that. They have great players, like you said, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha. Those two are very good in midfield. Vitinha's been one of the better midfielders in the world in the last couple of years. Some people say he's number one ahead of Pedri. And obviously Rafael Leal has been playing pretty good. I feel like they are a good team, but they're not good enough to win the World Cup. In my opinion. Like I said, they have what's his name, that left back, Nuno Mendes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he plays well. They have a decent team, but when you think of like even like Argentina, like I just feel like they're pretty stacked all everywhere, Their goalie, obviously, Emi Martinez, beast. Their defense is decent. Their midfield has been pretty good. DePaul, McAllister. They have some big names up top. They obviously have Julian Alvarez, who's one of the best strikers in the world. They have Lionel Messi. And Portugal, they're good. Don't get me wrong. João Neves, Vitinha. I can't think of the other guy's name, but if you watch Ronaldo play, I feel like he holds the team back a little bit too much, if I'm being honest. I am a Ronaldo hater, so I'll say that straight off the bat. But even as that, I feel like you can't look at me and tell me that Ronaldo helps this team. Obviously,
yeah.
And it just makes me sound like a hater though, but like watch Messi play now, like you can still see that he has the ability to play and make a difference. And if you go watch Ronaldo play, I feel like he's always been so dependent on goals, which is good. That was his job. That's what he was good at, But if you're not getting him the ball and he doesn't have that deadly instinct like he used to, unfortunately, he just becomes kind of a, what do they call it? Not an asset, but like he's bad for the team is what I'm trying to say. Liability, that's the word. There we go. Liability. And at the same time, you can't not take him to the World Cup because that's disrespectful. You have to wait for him to retire before he's not in this World Cup squad. So
you can't not sell those tickets, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
So yeah, I think they do have a good chance at competing. I don't think they have a good chance at winning.
For sure. Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's a good call out. I mean, I think, they definitely have a lot of good players. They have, kind of that whole idea as well, like Argentina, where, hey, this is probably Ronaldo's last time.
Probably.
Very much so his last time. So we definitely got to show out for this World Cup and try to get, as far as absolutely possible. So some dark horses as well, which this was a little bit surprising to me. Japan, one of the top, contenders for dark horse this upcoming World Cup. Colombia, Morocco, which Morocco was a big surprise for me in 2022 when they made that semifinal run. Absolutely wild. I had no idea they were that good. And then Ecuador, as well as the United States, which, some would say they have home field advantage, and some would say they don't. Because I guarantee wherever you go, whatever stadium you're going to be playing in, yes, there's going to be people flying in, but there's always someone here from somebody else. They're going to be rooting for somebody else. So,
and most of the time, those people are bigger fans of soccer than the U.S. fans, unfortunately.
Yep, that is very true. But nonetheless, I mean, I would love to see the U.S. do well. I would love to see Mexico do well, even though they have a ton of injuries. I would love to see Brazil do well. Do I want to see a France-Spain final? Absolutely. Do I want to see a Brazil-U.S. final? Absolutely. Do I want to see Mexico against Croatia in the final? Hell yeah. Like, I want to see all those things, but it's tough, man. I think it's definitely going to be a France-Spain, at least one of those guys going into the final. But you never know. It's a tournament, Whoever shows up for this tournament is the one that's going to win. So,
the only way they don't make it to the final, in my opinion, is if they have to play each other before then.
True. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know the way. I think we kind of did this a while back and kind of like picked people here and there. Maybe we do that again this upcoming, next couple of weeks, because they're going to start finalizing. By the way, on the 30th of this month, they should have the rosters finalized. Every single team will have the rosters finalized, and FIFA will announce these final teams on the 2nd of June. So we'll be able to see exactly who's on these teams and who is in and who is out, because there's plenty of people out, but there's probably going to be a lot of people in.
And
so we'll see.
I was going to mention, since you're mentioning rosters, it is their 26-man squad for Brazil. So.
Oh, they just announced the 26-man. That's the final, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the final.
Yeah,
thing.
They announced their final squad and Neymar was on it. So the only thing.
No way.
Yeah,
bro. Please, by the all graces of everything, like no matter what you think about the guy, like please stay healthy in this freaking tournament, bro. Like that's like his number one thing. Literally his Achilles heel. Like,
bro,
just stay healthy.
Yeah, that killed their 2014 hopes. Obviously, you can't. Not that I'm blaming it on him, but missing your Neymar, your Ronaldo, your Messi of your team just brings the morale down a lot, and the style of play. And I feel like that had a big effect on them losing to Germany, 7-1 back in 2014. Yeah. Obviously, he's not going to have that same effect, but it'll be nice to be able to see him play again. And I mean that in the way that I don't watch the Brazil league at all, so I haven't watched him play since he left PSG, so hopefully he plays well.
Yeah, I mean, but again, if I'm looking at the squad, they have Rafinha, they have Rafinha. They have a lot of guys on here that, whether Neymar, does well here or kind of holds the team back, like they have forwards that can pick up the slack, right? So I need to do a little more research on some of these other guys too, but I think they'll be pretty good,
Yeah. No, Brazil has a really good team, bro. Like, I can't name them off the top of my head, but just with Vini and Rafinha, like those guys are fighting each other every season, so it'll be nice to see them playing together. And Rafinha last year arguably should have won the Ballon d'Or, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Vini 2 years prior should have won the Ballon d'Or, maybe. I don't hate the fact that he lost. Karma got me by Rafinha losing the next year, but they're two Ballon d'Or candidate forwards for Brazil. Their midfield is good. They have Bruno Guimaraes. They have the guy from Newcastle, and I can't think of who else, but they have a decent team. Their defense is good.
Bruno
keeper.
Bruno is in Newcastle.
Bruno Guimaraes. Okay, so who's the other guy? Joelinton?
They have Paqueta, Fabinho, Casemiro, and Santos.
Joelinton didn't make the team.
Danilo Santos. Joelinton, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't see one. But he's also in Brazil. Yeah.
Is he a midfielder? No, he didn't.
Yeah, look, I'll share my screen real quick so you can see. But he also plays for Newcastle. But he's a very good, like, defensive, like, strong midfielder. So.
Yeah, dang. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I mean, that is exciting to see that Brazil's already like, hey, this is the team. Let's get ready, man. So that makes me excited for them. So.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man.
If it's not Mexico, at least let it be a Barca player.
There you go, man. There you go. Solid stuff, dude. So we'll kind of keep covering the World Cup going into it. Again, we only have 1 week left of MLS action, and then we're going to be covering World Cup basically until, the end of July. So we'll kind of keep going at that. I love the World Cup. I think it's fun. I love, having games every single day. Maybe we do something, a clip or something every day or whatever. I'm going to be on leave, so I'm probably going to try to get as much content out as possible. But nonetheless, we'll kind of get into the last MLS 15 before the World Cup. So I don't know if you can pull up FanDuel. Let's cook up another little parlay, if you will. A little $5 14 leg.
I don't know what we picked, but we definitely didn't win.
We did not win. No, we did not. I think you even mentioned, like, on the thing, you were like, oh, New England can beat Nashville. They lost 3-0. You said that on the thing. Yeah. And then you went and picked Nashville in your picks.
Well, that's how it is, bro.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Sometimes you forget what you say in real life,
Yep, I get that. I have kids too. I know. Okay, let's cook up a little parlay here, shall we?
Let's go.
Okay, again, Saturday, the last MLS match week before the World Cup. I think you kicked us off last time, so I'm going to kick us off this time. And I believe from what we saw last time, let me just double check. So you have St. Louis on top and then Austin.
I believe
the bottom one
is the away team.
Ooh, you sure?
I think so.
St. Louis, Austin.
Yeah.
This one's going to be in Energizer. So St. Louis is home. Okay, so top team is home. Okay, cool. So before the last game, so Austin just got rid of their coach, by the way. For those of you that don't know, Austin is coachless. St. Louis with previous three games without losing. They're going to be at home. They're playing an Austin team that's going to be a little bit lost because they've lost some, valuable people there. But I'm going to go with St. Louis on this one. Tap me in. It is a -165, so obviously they are the favorite. So give me St. Louis on this one.
This one's an easy one for me. I'm going to pick the hometown team.
Ooh,
I feel
team.
like every time they play each other, especially when they played in the playoffs, RSL seems to choke. But since it's not the playoffs, I'm going to pick RSL.
Oof. Okay. Minnesota has beaten them 7 times. RSL's only beaten Minnesota 3 times. 11 draws in this matchup. So, a bit interesting there. Okay, Charlotte, New England. Both teams coming off of a win here. And both teams in some pretty decent positions on the table. New England in third. Charlotte is at home, but dang, this one's tough, bro. Yeah, give me Charlotte. I think they can take this one.
I don't know how this betting stuff works. If it's minus, that means they're the favorite, right?
Favorite, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say the Montreal games always scare me because they're so inconsistent.
Yes.
And I just feel like DC United has been playing really well this season, so I can see them winning this game, and I'm going to pick them to win this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Montreal somehow pulls something out of their behind and wins this game.
I know, that is a tough one. Next one, we do have Cincinnati against Orlando. Orlando getting a couple crazy wins that we honestly weren't really expecting, but again, they were playing some pretty bad teams, but I do want Cincy in this one. I think they can take it. They're going to be home. They're going to want some wins.
Cincy.
Toronto.
Chicago, Toronto. I just feel like Chicago's been playing so well leading up to this game that I want to pick Chicago. I'm trying to see what Toronto did.
Toronto has like 8 guys that are injured.
Yeah, I was gonna pick Chicago anyways, but I just wanted to see how Toronto was doing. But yeah, Chicago's been playing well. They're on back-to-back wins right now. Let's see when the last time they lost was, if my computer wants to work. They actually lost 3 in a row, and then they won 2 in a row, but I'm still picking Chicago.
Yeah, that's a solid pick.
Chicago.
All right, next we have Kansas City and New York Red Bulls. This is another one that's interesting because Kansas has obviously been winning a couple games here. They did beat Austin, and then they beat Los Angeles. And New York Red Bulls have been a little bit wonky, not amazing, but they've been a little, here and there. They're going to play in Kansas, but I do think, Red Bulls, given that rivalry, I think they're going to want, something to kind of end on a high note. So I'm going to go with Red Bulls on this game.
Good, because if you pick Kansas City here, I would have held you to it on the points, bro. Again, kind of an easy one. Easy one on paper when you look at the stats and how these teams have been playing. Obviously, I'm going to pick Nashville to win this game, but New York City FC does have the ability to beat this Nashville team depending on how they're doing after these back-to-back weeks. They're in not back-to-back weeks, but back-to-back games and back-to-back wins for Nashville. Obviously, New York City FC tied against the New York Red Bulls, and let me see what their record's been. So they beat Charlotte, and then they beat Columbus. So I'm picking Nashville to win, but like I said, New York City FC has the ability to beat this team, so don't be surprised if they win.
Easy pick for me, FC Dallas.
Colorado?
No, Dallas.
Oh, I can pick both of them. Look at that.
Oh, what the? No, it says no. It says you can't. Give me Dallas.
I can't bet on both teams to win, so I can make my money back either way.
I know, right? It's a hack.
I feel I don't know if this is as easy as it looks. Vancouver hasn't been
Dang.
playing well. They obviously lost to Houston, and who did they play the the game before? I can't
They played
remember.
San Jose, I
They
think.
played San Jose, and they played FC Dallas, and they beat them
Oh
3-2.
yeah, Dallas.
But
Sorry.
they also tied against the Quakes and the Galaxy. So I think I still have to go with Vancouver, maybe. This is kind of tough.
Mm.
I'm gonna go Vancouver,
Okay.
but San Diego has been a little iffy. I feel like Vancouver's been more consistent than San Diego, so I'll still pick them.
Okay. Sounds good. Portland Timbers against San Jose Earthquakes. I think this is a no-brainer. Give me San Jose, even though I believe Nico is still out here. But if you're taking either of these two,
Go. Give me the Galaxy.
ooh,
The Galaxy. Houston Dynamo did just beat Vancouver. Yes, that's correct. But I just feel like the Galaxy are just knocking on that door. Like they're there. They can
yeah,
win these games, and this looks kind of crazy because in their last 5 games, Houston Dynamo has only lost one, and that's
wow,
against RSL.
wow,
And they beat. Hear this out. Hear this. They beat Vancouver 1-0. They beat Los Angeles 4-1. They beat Colorado and Louisville City. That's for the U.S. Open Cup, but
yeah,
still, they in their last 3 games they've beat Vancouver and Los Angeles
wow,
LAFC. But the Galaxy again, impressive wins against RSL. They beat them 2-1. They tied against Vancouver. They beat Atlanta and they beat the Sounders. But out of nowhere they lose to Kansas City. So that's why I'm
yeah,
picking the LA Galaxy. I feel like they have what it takes. But just based off their last 5 games, the Houston Dynamo could win that.
yeah. You never know. Okay, going into the Sunday games, we have Columbus against Atlanta. I think Atlanta's got a lot
Lamb.
of problems. Yeah, it's not looking pretty. Columbus did just get a new coach, so maybe this is a sign of better things to come. So give me Columbus for this one. This is where the ship turns.
I keep picking the Crew, and when I don't pick the Crew, they win. It pisses me off, dude. They need to lock in. They need to
Pick
figure
Atlanta,
something.
bro.
I picked Atlanta? No, I'm
No, I
right.
said in
All
your
right.
picks.
No,
In your
I'm not
picks.
picking Atlanta. Heck no. I might though. I don't know. We'll see. But what is for sure is that I'm picking Inter Miami to win against
Easiest.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I think out of the matchups this week, that might be the most lopsided one.
It's a lock.
Yeah, this is another like one of those things where I think last week I said if LAFC and the LA Galaxy lost to Sporting Kansas City and St. Louis, they need to figure stuff out. And for some reason, I called it in the podcast, so I wish I went with those picks that I said on the podcast. Well, I didn't even go with them actually. I went with the LA teams, but yeah, Inter Miami has to win this game. Are they back at home? Are they back-to-back home games?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think this is another easy dub for them to get that momentum
Yeah.
out going. Um, Inter Miami, you better finish off this game, dude, because they just
Yeah.
don't know how to finish, dude. I don't know what it
They
is.
will. They'll get it done. They'll have Messi come off the field in the 80th minute. They won't need him anymore. They'll be up 4-0. Don't even worry about it.
80th? They're
Yeah,
gonna be
in the
like
80th minute.
5-0 up in the half.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Okay, last one of the week. Los Angeles and Seattle, dude.
Are these odds surprising to you? Because they're a bit surprising to me.
I mean, LAFC is, I think they kind of came in tough at the beginning of the year, but it is a little bit interesting given that Seattle is much higher in the Western Conference, but LA is at home. I think this is a bit of a rivalry here. Like, you got Seattle has always been a very top team. LAFC's won it before, and these are like top teams in the Western Conference. I think LAFC gets back on track, man. I think, they got Martinez, they got Bouanga. Son wants to get something right before the World Cup, right? Kind of get back on track. I think they want to end it, going into, the World Cup break with a win. So give me LA.
Okay, sorry, I was doing some math in my head because, again, these last 3 games for LAFC have been horrible. What was it? 8 games to start the season without conceding a goal,
I think it was 6, but yeah.
or 6? Yeah, 6. and in their last 3 games, they've conceded 9 goals. In their last 3 games. Rough. That's crazy.
And they got knocked into the CONCACAF.
Yeah, if you want to count all 5 of them, it's 15
Yeah.
15 goals in their last 5 games. Not at least, that's literally what it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dang. It's 15 goals in their last 5 games, including the Champions Cup loss to Toluca. So
dang.
They need to figure something out, and like you said, this game is at home. If there was ever a time for them to get their momentum.
Wait. If you put $5 on it, what do we get?
$5. Sorry.
Like, don't close it out yet. All right. Drum roll.
53,365. I think we did less this time. We went with probably more favorites this time. Yeah, we did. Yeah, look, all the favorites.
Still, yeah. I think 53,000. I think anybody that puts $5 wins 53K on a bet. I think you're happy.
Should I log in or join the bet real quick? This has to be a statement win for LAFC. If not, I feel like some changes are going to have to happen. Yes, you did start the season off well with a lot of clean sheets, but no goals scored in those clean sheets. And now you're getting goals scored on you and you're not scoring goals. We gotta figure it out, man.
For sure. So that'll be, the last match day before the World Cup break. So a lot of teams got to make some statement wins and kind of keep the momentum going into the World Cup, as well as for when the World Cup's over. So lots of good games to look at coming up here this weekend. And then we're in World Cup mode, ladies and gentlemen. So that is it. Last and final thoughts, my friend. We covered a lot today. So you pumped? You pumped for the last match day in the World Cup, dude?
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Yeah, I'll be at home most of this week, so I'm going to make an effort to watch a bunch of these games, especially with it being the last few for pretty much an entire month. Obviously, July 16th. Yeah. And then
crazy.
That's a Thursday. Then not until July 22nd we'll have an entire full lineup of games. So yeah, pretty much an entire month before we get any more MLS action as an entire league. So
dang. There we go. Well, yeah, we'll cover it. We'll cover it here on the Soccer Podcast. This has been episode number 58. Thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. If you guys ever want to collaborate on anything World Cup wise, we don't have tickets. So we'd love to go to a game.
Yes.
If anybody has some loose tickets that they want to give away for free, ideally.
Loose or tight, we'll take them.
We'll do what we got to do. So appreciate y'all tuning in. We love doing this. And, we'll catch y'all next week when we start covering the World Cup a lot more. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
See you.